Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review on the brand new Fenty Beauty bronzers. So I saw that Rihanna recently launched her bronzer series and I was so excited to try these out. And this video is mainly going to focus on me putting on and trying out the bronzer that I selected. So I really quickly want to just talk about all the overview of it. So these do retail for $30. So this is what all the bronzers that she came out with look like. They're very beautiful, have a very nice summertime effect to it. I like this packaging. They did come out with how many? 8 groundbreaking shades. And they go from some really nice fair bronzers to some really deep bronzers to really fulfill all different types of skin complexion. So I want to read the description. It's supposed to be a long wear transfer resisting bronzing powder. It's carefully curated to bring all the skin tones to life. This product is cruelty free in case you guys are wondering. What else do you need to know? They're smooth, creamy, and easy to blend. They're light as air bronzers that give you a sun-soaked glow. Whether you're looking for warmth or contouring, it does it all with a perfect soft matte finish. So these do have that soft matte consistency, which I did notice when I was doing my eyeshadow today. And I do prefer that because when it comes to me, I don't really like a shimmery bronzer that just may be me. I would rather have like a shimmery blush or a nice shimmery, very intense highlight. So now after reading all those good claims, I'm really excited to test this out because I have a feeling I'll have some good depth in here. So I'm just gonna bring you guys in closer so that we can start to bronze the face. Okay, so for bronzer, I like to personally use 2 different types of brushes. I like to use this IT Cosmetics. It's the Heavenly Wand Ball Powder number 8 to go down here because it's kind of pointed. So I feel like it really gets in here and kind of gives me a good definition. So we're gonna start off with down here. And I do quickly want to say that Fenty Beauty did come out with brushes. They range between $32 and $34 for their bronzing brushes. They're very beautiful. Personally, I don't need brushes because I have a good amount of brushes in my collection that I can use. Me splurging that money could be used for something else, you know? If you're looking for a nice bronzing brush, I would definitely say check that out if it's something that interests you and you want to support the brand. Okay, so we got some bronzing right here. Definitely snatch that. I kind of like to keep my bronzing right in this area. And I forgot to mention the shade. So I got, I think it's called Bajan Girl. No, sorry, Bajan Gyal. So I think this is called Bajan Gyal. If I'm pronouncing this incorrectly, I'm very sorry. I suck at pronouncing. See, I suck at pronunciation. There we go. That's a perfect example. I suck at saying certain words. That's what we're gonna keep it at. I'm sorry. And I will compare this in swatches next to my Hoola bronzer and my Physicians Formula bronzer. It is definitely a little bit more deeper in color, but I wanted to go deeper so that I was able to use this in the summer when I do hopefully get some type of tan maybe. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to our forehead. So for our forehead, I'm gonna be using the Jaclyn Hill Morphe brush in JH02. The reason I like to use this is because it's so big and fluffy. And I feel like for somebody who has a big forehead and like a big head, you need a big brush to really disperse that out evenly, but also blend it as it goes. I find that this brush really does that for me. It really disperses out all of the product and really gives it that nice even distribution without it looking patchy or anything like that. So far down here, I'm not noticing any patchiness. I feel like it looks really good and it does complement my skin. It's not too intense where I'm like, whoa, that's a really dark bronzer. I feel like it's perfect. We're gonna take some. And you can see it looks nice and pigmented, and we're gonna begin putting that all throughout. Really kind of targeting as much as the forehead as possible, because like I mentioned, I do have a bigger forehead. And really pushing the product into our hairline so that it doesn't look like it's just stuck in one spot. And you can see the brush and the product are working well by not giving me like helmet head. I know a lot of bronzers on me, that's how I notice if I like them or not. If I start to see it look very blotchy or like I have a helmet head, I'm like, this isn't the one for me. But this actually feels very lightweight. It doesn't feel like you're applying too much of it. I also like the fact that it's not so extremely pigmented when you dust it off onto the brush, because sometimes when bronzers are like that, it tends to be too much and it can go so bad so quick. So I like the fact that it definitely requires you to kind of press it in a little bit for you to get like that good intense color payoff. And you can see that when it applies it, it still gives it a very natural skin-like. And do you see how now my face has a lot more dimension than it did when we first said our hellos? Like, this looks good. And then the next thing we're gonna go ahead and do is we are going to kind of contour our cheekbones and kind of give them that little lift that they deserve. So I'm gonna go back in with the IT Cosmetics brush because it's pointed at the top, so it can kind of distribute that exactly where I wanna place it. And we're just gonna take it here. I actually love the warmth that it gives my complexion. It's definitely a little bit more warm than cool. And I do like the fact that I feel like it's a little bit darker than all the bronzers that I'm currently obsessed with, because I feel like sometimes you gotta play with color, especially like in this time of the year where we're moving into summer. So that's a plus. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Blends very beautifully, and it doesn't disrupt the foundation. You know, with some bronzers or with some foundations, as soon as you apply that bronzer, that blush, it starts to break apart. This isn't doing that for me. And even when I add a little bit more product, it just builds up so beautifully. And I use the shade 300 in the Fenty Beauty Foundation, in case you guys are wondering, in case you guys use the foundation and you're trying to figure out which bronzer to get. Bajan Gyal, I think this will be good. Ooh, I like this. I feel so summery right now. It's like super nice and warm. So I did go ahead and use the bronzer on my eyes to kind of create some dimension, and for the crease work, as you can see, I'm wearing the bronzer. And what I did want to do on camera was kind of smoke out the lower lash line so we can kind of get a feel for how that looks underneath. So I'm using my Morphe M508, and we're really gonna go down there and distribute the color. It's just such a pretty warm brown, and it looks stunning. You can honestly use this as bronzing, contouring, and even for eyeshadow. Like, let's say you forgot a matte brown for transition and you only pack like certain colors. Like, if you have this bronzer, you can create a look. Or even if you don't even have eyeshadows, you can create a look just using the bronzer. And I love the fact that it has just the right amount of pigmentation where it's not gonna like look so heavy. If you're a little bit heavier handed with your brush, it still gives you like that good skin-like effect. So there we pretty much have the product all on our skin, and I'm very pleased. I'm gonna go ahead and quickly finish off the last details of my face, and then I'm gonna come back and give you guys my final thoughts, how much product is in this bronzer, and comparing it to how much product are my other bronzers, and then we can decide whether I think this is worth your cash or not. So stay tuned. Okay, so I am back. Full face is snatched and looking super summery. I really quickly want to talk about this lip product before we finish off the review. I am wearing, because I know you guys are going to ask me, I'm wearing Fenty Beauty Dragon Mami, and do you want to just talk about this? I brought out all of my favorite bronzers that I have been obsessed with. Kylie, Hoola, Physicians Formula, we have them all here. And I will be swatching them for you guys so you guys can see how they compare to Bajan. I think it's Bajan Gyal. So we're gonna compare it to this in swatches. But I do quickly want to talk about how much part there is in each one, so you guys can kind of see, because I'm sure a lot of you guys probably have tried the bronzers that I have here, like the Physicians Formula, the Hoola, and the Kylie one, so you guys can kind of compare and contrast how it may do between that and the new Fenty Beauty ones. So this one has 0.22 ounces and 6.23 grams of product in here. And this will last you 12 months from the time period that you open it and start using it. So we have that in mind. The Kylie one has 0.39 ounces in here. And this one has 11 grams. And so this one has a lot more than the one by Fenty Beauty. And then the Hoola one has, do we have an amount, Hoola? This isn't giving me an, oh, here we go, front. It has 0.28 ounces and 8.0 grams. So it does have a little bit more than the Fenty Beauty one, and then the Physicians Formula one, which is the only drugstore bronzer that I have that I'm obsessed with, has 0.38 ounces and 11 grams. So the Kylie one has the most out of all of these, and this one has the second most, which is the drugstore one, which is the most affordable one out of all four of these bronzers. I feel like this Fenty Beauty, what really sets it apart from all these other ones, regardless of the price, regardless of how much amount it has in here, it honestly blends so perfectly and seamlessly into my skin that it honestly looks like it's my skin. I think one of the main reasons why they may have not had as much product as Kylie Cosmetics is because of the way that their packaging works and all of that. They are sticking to the same packaging that they did for their highlighters, which is totally understandable. And I don't think that having a little bit less product than something like Kylie Cosmetics or the Hoola bronzer takes away from the fact that the formula is actually a really good formula that will really do wonders for your skin. Now, I do have to say, I've owned this butter bronzer for a long time, and it takes, I mean, just now I'm hitting pan on this, and I've been using this so much. So do I think that this is something that you're gonna go through it super duper fast? No, unless you're literally packing bronzer everywhere on your face and then you're doing your eyeshadow with it every single day, then maybe. But I mean, you have 12 months of use of this, so it shouldn't be anything too crazy where you go through it super fast. I feel like it's pretty standard size for a bronzer, what they're bringing to the table. But I think that what really sold me was the consistency and how well this builds onto the skin while still giving you a very skin-like effect. I feel like so many brands have been coming out with lots of similar products lately. They've been launching more bronzers in the makeup community, but I feel like Fenty Beauty's really stood out to me. Another brand that came out with bronzers, which I have not tried, but I have heard good things, are Morphe. And the reason I didn't purchase it was because it was a little bit more expensive than I'm usually used to when purchasing something from Morphe. But it's crazy how the mind works. Like when you're used to that price point from a brand, you'll just get it anyway. Like Fenty Beauty, 30 bucks. Yes, 30 bucks is a little bit more, but I wasn't like, ooh, should I do it? Should I not? I'm like, Fenty Beauty, let's go, you know? So it's crazy how the mind works sometimes. But overall, I do have to say that I think this is definitely worth picking up. I feel like all the shades are fantastic. When I went to the store and swatched them, they felt so creamy, skin-like, and very buttery. Very easy to work with. You guys saw how easily it blended into my forehead and into this bottom part of my face. So let's quickly go back because I do want to touch on one more thing. Okay, so the color that I got, I wanted to give you guys the description. It's supposed to be tan with warm undertones. And I actually really like that because I feel like my butter bronzer and my Kylie Cosmetics one are a little bit more on the cool side, especially this one. This one does have some warmth in it, but I feel like it's a little bit more muted. And I feel like this one by Fenty really stands out because it's like warm, but it's a very pretty warm. It's like a bronze goddess warm that I just am appreciating, but I will have the swatches so you guys can see how they all compare to each other. I think this is definitely going to join the family of my current favorites bronzers. I mean, some of these are like holy grail bronzers, but I think this is definitely going to be one because that formula really impressed me and it's laying on my skin so nicely. It's not irritating my skin. You guys know that I am very sensitive to products. It's not doing any of that, and it's cruelty free in case you guys are wondering, because I know sometimes that's very important to you guys, so I totally get it. Do I think this is worth the $30? I do think it's worth the $30. If you're looking for a new bronzer, I would say check them out. If you are more on the affordable budget side and you can't afford to spend $30 on a bronzer, If you haven't done so already, check out Butter Bronzers by Physicians Formula. They're only $8 to $9 to $10 depending on where you go purchase it. Also, Kylie Cosmetics, $18. They're really good products, and she does have a good range of colors. I think she has maybe 6 or 7 shades, maybe even 8, I'm not sure. But she also did come out with a good range of colors. But I definitely think that this formula has something that really stood out to me, that really made the skin look so beautiful, but still kept that natural vibe to it. I would definitely say go into your local Sephora, check out the colors, swatch them. That's one of the reasons I decided to go in instead of placing an order online, because when I go in, I can really swatch them and see how they compare and contrast on my complexion, and you can get a vibe for it and see if it's something that you would consider purchasing. But I definitely do recommend checking it out and purchasing the new Fenty bronzers. I've seen so many people talk about them, and I was like, you're talking about them, I want to go check them out. So I did, and I'm very, very pleased with the outcome of my thoughts on this. So if you guys did enjoy watching this video, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. It lets me know to continue doing these types of video for you guys. If you guys have any recommendations on future videos that you want to see next, leave them down below in the comment section. I always love starting a conversation with you guys. Also, all the details on my face makeup will be in the description box. Also, don't forget to subscribe, because I wouldn't want you guys to miss my videos. We're almost at 30K, and I mean, can we do it? Can we do it sooner than later? So go ahead and subscribe. Also, don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you never miss a video. And that being said, I love you guys, and I'll be seeing you guys very, very soon for a brand new video. Bye, guys.